Hi there, welcome back to wildsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne and I'm very happy to have you here today. We are on day 8 of our lovely 16 days of Art Studio Valentine love. And today we're going to make what I call a dancing stick. This is basically a stick with this is called Surveyor's tape, and I just get it at my local hardware store. I'm sure the big box hardware stores have it too. This texture of red is sort of see-through and a very no texture ribbon, and this has sort of an almost woven texture to it, but they're all made out of plastic and they have a delicious weight to them. So perhaps you have seen, and I should have looked this up and I'll look it up and put it in the description box below. I believe it's a Chinese dance that's called the ribbon dance. And basically you can wave your wand around in a circle, and I can't really do that here. And this whole long strip of ribbon follows the arc of the stick, and you can sort of draw circles or you can draw waves. It's really fun. So I will find a good video of the dancing stick and show it to you. And I thought, this is great, by the way. This is a class, an art project that's really great for little kids. If you need to have presents for a bunch of kids in February, if you live in the north the way I do, we don't get to throw our kids outside on the lawn and have a good time. And actually it's been so cold, it isn't even hardly fun to go skiing and do all that stuff. So our kids can get a little full of beans. And this is a fun thing to do in a room that doesn't have any precious vases or pieces of glass up on shelves. The kids can wave this, maybe going down a hall or something. And they get lots of gross motor movement, and they get to dance and play, and so that's fun. So the pieces of this are the stick. I have here a 3/4 inch stick. You can probably use just about anything. You want it to have some heft because it does get a lot of action, and if it's too thin, it might break. You know, it'll get hit against something or whatever. So, and then we've got a rosette, which is just folded paper, and it's paperweight too. It's not even cardstock. We've got little snippets of ribbon. We've got a stacked heart, Valentine, and then we've got a little fluffy thing up on top. Today I think we're going to do a fringed fluffy thing. Okay. So what you will need is first a piece of paper that you would like to be this rosette. And this is really easy. We actually only need half of the paper. So we're going to fold it in half, and this will work fine, I think, if you're working in A5 rather than 8.5 by 11 United States paper. Yeah, it'll work either way. So we fold it in half, and we get our scissors. You can cut it in half on an cutting board too. It's just, you know, this is actually good brain candy. Makes our eyes and our hands work in concert with each other, which just keeps our brain flowing in the magic. So then we fold one of those half pieces into 1/4 pieces. That was not a very perfect fold. What's up with that? And then again, we're gonna, that's still not very perfect, but I think it's gonna end up being all right. We end up just taking a teeny slice of the fold away. And the reason I do this is that when you unfold a paper that's been folded, you get a little bead of folded paper there on the edge, and it's just messy. And it leaves a bump, and I don't like that. And it's brain candy to, yeah, so there we are. All right, so then we fold this piece of paper in half, and then half to the front. Let's get rid of the other green piece, and half to the back, and then half to the front. We are going to want in our final folds for all of these folds to be nice and crisp. Just makes things a little more precise. Now, if we go in half again, it starts, we're going through 4 pieces of paper and we start getting a little muddy. So what I do is refold that so I've got the mountain part coming towards me, and I bend the paper and fold it in half, and then I just pinch that. And then again, with the mountain part of the fold coming towards me, I fold that in half and pinch back here to make that a tight fold. Pull the mountain up and pinch the fold. Now this is a valley going away from me, so refold it so that it's a mountain. Pull the mountain up to meet the other edges, and fold, and fold, and fold, and fold, and then the very last fold is there. Now you could do this on a scoreboard, but again, this is making our brains work. Just kind of makes our brains and our hands, both eyes, both hands, work in concert. And I think really what it does is it greases all the contact points that have information from our right brain and information from our left brain. And there's a little kind of a piece of cloth there, and it's got little fingers coming off each side. And every time our right eye needs to tell our left brain needs to tell our right hand what to do, or our right brain needs to tell our left hand what to do, this information has to go scooting back and forth on the corpus callosum in our brains that runs from our forehead to the back of our head. And it just makes all our synapses strong. So it's it's not really brain candy, it's more like brain broccoli. It makes us very smart. So I'm doing the same thing I did on the other folds. I am making sure this is a mountain fold, bend it with my fingers, pull it up, and press the fold. Mountain fold, bend, and pinch that closed. And so you go all the way down. We're going to need 2 of these, and the way we're going to make a circle out of them, and then you end up pressing the circle flat. And the way we get those 2 edges together is I just use a little Scotch tape. Nothing very fancy. Let's see if we can see. Can you tell that there's a little bit of difference right there in the texture? This is the fold where I taped them together. And in the front, you can't see that at all because I've got stuff covering it up, kind of on purpose. So we'll finish this, and I'm not going to actually go through that because I'm finding that I'm making long videos and those aren't entirely popular. So we're just going to, I'm going to show you basically how it's done, and then, you know, taping two things together is something I'm sure you know how to do. This is basically what we're doing. So we're going to take the other piece, also fold that, take the two ends there and there when this gets folded, and we'll tape that together, half on the back, half on the front, and then we'll also do that over here, and the part where the tape is will end up being the back of the rosette so that we don't see that. And if one piece makes about a half a circle, then two pieces will make the whole circle. So then what you do is you get a piece of cardstock, and I will put a photo of the finished product on my Instagram, my Wildsunne Instagram, and you can see it there. So what I'm going to do is cut silently with no words. I'm going to cut a circle, and what I do is I glue up white glue or Fabrifix. Actually, the Fabrifix is nice. This will wrinkle a little bit with the water in Elmer's glue, so it's nice to have the acetone base that won't wrinkle. So when you get these all glued together, front half and back half, and they're all taped together, then what they'll want to do is stand up like this. So squish them down, put glue on this, and then you have to hold it to make it stay put for a little bit, like maybe 2 whole minutes. So put a book in front of you or something, or breathe deeply. Contemplate the people you love. And then we get to make Valentine. So that's cool. I think I can do a Valentine that's about that big. I'm going to let there be a crease in my Valentine. So you cut half a Valentine. And glue it. And I'll use a little purple paper. I'm going to echo cut it. And you can use anything for these echo cuts. Let's see if I can show you properly. This is red, I kind of crumpled it on purpose, red tin foil, which I got at my local grocery store at Christmas time a couple of years ago. And you can also use candy wrapper. I'm now just flinging little foils all over the place. But you can use candy wrapper paper foils, or so I used the red tin foil, and then gold candy wrapper, and then I used a red piece of cardstock. So here is red cardstock with purple cardstock. let's put another layer back there for fun. Boy, this is a color of teal that I just love. It's so gorgeous. I have a skin color that does not take to teal very well, but I really love the color of teal. I'm very sad that I can't wear it. I just look really washed out. This too is sort of brain broccoli. See, if I call it brain broccoli, then it doesn't sound like it's very fun. If I call it brain candy, then it sounds like it's way more fun. And it really is fun, and our brains very much, you know, it's what our brains do. They make associations. They say, oh, I have this piece of information, and they make associations and throw them back and forth at each other. And our brains love doing that. Okay, so here, once I've got my rosette all made, then I can glue the heart on top, and we can make a little fringed, well, we like to call them fuffuts in my family. My niece was once furious with her mother for teaching her the word fuffut. She said, Mom, I thought that was a real word. Well, the way my family uses that word, it's a real word. So what I'm doing here is measuring half the space. So from this little cut here to the edge, sort of cut wherever the half is, and cut that in half, cut that in half, cut that in half. Now, if I come down here and cut this in half too, well, I guess I can still do that. Here, if I'm very careful. And I sing while I do it. Thinking a lot about why I do this, why I'm an artist, why this is important to me. And making art is important to me simply because it's pretty. Like, that's kind of the beginning and the end. We're just supposed to feel great when we do it. And we're making something pretty. Now, you will see, oh my goodness, I've been cutting out of frame. You will see that I'm not, in these little center ones that I'm cutting now, I'm not going all the way down to the end. That's because it makes very little space between here and here if that comes all the way down. And these tend to just rip. So that would be horrible. So I'm not cutting all the way down to the end. Staying up where it's a little tiny bit more thick. And then I'm going to take this and fold it in back a little bit. And take this side. Fold it in back a little bit. And I don't think it matters that it's not quite straight. We won't tell anybody. And I'm going to put this right behind there. Actually, I can glue this in right now. Can't I? And then we can also take a couple of bits of ribbon. I have a green and a white like I used yesterday, and a red. Put the white there, and the red on that side, and the green on that side. Just kind of let that sit, but I can show this to you. Ta-da! All right, now we moved the red one, so I have to move it back. We're going to let that sit. So then when you have the rosette all done, I'm feeling very sad that I have not completely finished this for you. So let's see if I can do this quickly. So again, this part is just a series of folding things in half. I think sometimes I think that the work I do is kind of, I don't know, fluffy. Shall we call it fluffy? Like, is this really important work? Are we getting anything great done here? I listen to those law of attraction people and business gurus, and everybody says you have to give great service and give good value with your life. You have to be doing something marvelous. It's kind of like mothering. It's a fairly thankless job. But what we're doing is helping give small humans a place to grow up. And so actually the work a mother does is, you know, the most important job in the world. As my mother used to say, these are the people who are going to be choosing your old age home for you. So you want to be really nice to them and give them a great set of values. But still, you know, like, you don't get paid a lot of money for being a mom, and you don't, I mean, you know, I'm trying to make that be otherwise, get paid a lot of money for being an artist. But even being an artist, like the people who I see often on YouTube and stuff are making these gorgeous big paintings, you know, you're supposed to, yeah, I have a lot of stuff in my head that says you're supposed to be doing it differently. And here I am making a Valentine wand, and it kind of seems like it's not important. But when I take that to my quiet places and I keep working on it and say, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? What I keep getting back from those sort of, I don't know, you know, spiritual conversations I have with my guardian angels like that. And what they keep saying is, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be using bright and shiny colors and making pretty little Valentine toys. So I guess that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so we have our front and back circles so we can glue everything in place and we are not confused. I need tape. So we want a piece of tape that's as wide as the fan fold. And you take a single up fold and get the glue stuck down on one side. And kind of unfold these a little bit to make them slightly more manageable. We glue that together, and then we do the same thing on the other side. We tape the upfold, that nicely stuck down, and then hey, wait a minute. Yeah, so I don't know if I said, but we need to get those edge to edge. And I just took that apart because I actually had one corner stuck underneath the other corner, and they won't fold back up properly if we do that. Okay, so then we make sure these folds are all nice and flat. See how it wants to stand up? So we're going to push it down and also push it in so that there isn't a big gaping circle, but it's nice and tight. Now, that's going to do that until I glue this down. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit longer video. Sorry about that, Chief. Oh, that's from, do you remember the Get Smart TV show? This is dating me, I realize. For those of you who are lots younger than me, there used to be a Get Smart TV show long before the movie, and who was it? Barbara Feldman and Don somebody. Barbara Feldman was Agent 99, and Don, whatever his name was the Get Smart 86 agent. Anyway, the TV show was kind of based on the fact that Agent 86 was always messing up. And whenever he would mess up, and then the chief of operations would say, "What the heck, you know?" And he would say, "Sorry about that, Chief," when he, you know, blew something up by mistake or whatever that was all about. So we do want to be pretty generous with our glue when we're gluing these circles on, because we're hoping to catch actually just the mountain part of these folds. So generosity with glue is a good thing. And then we get to sit here and talk. So it turns out, I mean, what I keep getting is that making pretty objects with brightly colored paper actually is important work, because it's pretty, because it makes our brains strong, and because it makes us happy. And all of those things are really necessary in our culture, in anybody's culture. I mean, even if you're not being all doomy and gloomy about what our culture is like in the early part of the 21st century, we all need to be smart, and we all need to be happy. And it actually, after years and years of therapy, doesn't seem to be doing me half as much good to hang out being sad in therapy as it would to just be happy doing what I love doing. Go figure. All right, so now I'm going to put a little glue in here so these little foldy places that I made will stay put. And then I'm going to get lots of glue. Now I'm gluing this to the flat purple circle. I don't really need all that much glue, but just in case. Hey, that's squished out of place. All right, so we want to be able to see okay, so what I usually do with this is just put something heavy on it and let it sit for a while. So I really wanted to be able to make this rosette for you so you could see it, but now that I have done that, I'm going to put something heavy on this, like these rolls of tape. And let me show you how to, wait a minute, do we want to put green tape? Let's do that just for fun. So the way you measure the tape is, did you know if you spread your arms out and measure from the tip of your longest finger to the tip of your longest finger, you get exactly your height? Isn't that cool? So depending on the height of the person who will be playing with this stick, so if you have a 7-year-old playing with this stick, you're only going to need 4 feet or something. So kind of get a gist of, although if you're making this for yourself and you're an adult, you're going to need, you know, like 5.5 or whatever feet. So actually we need twice your height. So measure it out, you know, fingertip to fingertip twice. And I'm going to do this so that it's big enough for me because, you know, I'm me. And you want to do twice that. And this won't ravel or anything, so you can just cut straight across. Let's put heavy things. Then, and I was supposed to find my duct tape. Why did I not do that? What did I do with my duct tape? There it is. So remember we were playing with metal tape? You don't have to use fancy metal tape on this. It just happens to be what I have nearby. Just take a little snippet. Ugh, let's put this on here. Let's get serious. So we're going to attach our ribbon to the top of our stick. So here's our ribbon. Going to put the tape kind of in the middle, just a very short distance there. And then we're going to put the tape vertically on the stick, press it down. We don't need to have a bump there. And then just roll. You see I'm just rolling the tape. So now everything is stuck in an I meant it that way kind of way. And just rub down all the edges, and that's a nice tight bond. So I won't do this now because we're already letting that dry. But what I did was just drew a big line of the fabric tack. Hot glue would also work. I think hot glue will hold the metal tape just fine. Or if really any duct tape, any strong tape will work. So I just drew a line of glue down and I pressed this in and then put heavy weights like this kind of stuff on top of it, making sure it doesn't also attach to the glue. And I let this dry overnight just to make really, really, really sure that it's glued. And then, ta-da, you get a beautiful dancing stick. This will make you very happy, I think. For today, have fun with your kiddos if you're playing with your kids, or have fun with yourself, or give it to your boss, or whatever works out great for you. I wish you beauty and fun. Just beauty and fun. Please go out and do anything that makes you see beauty and makes you feel fun. There we go. Thank you. Oh, noise. Gracious. Thank you for your company today, and I will see you tomorrow with another Valentine project. Bye.